everybody, how are you? I am Mark, and you are watching Friday Night Live at Your New Puppy. We are going to chat about our pups, talk about some of our guys that just got here today. Paw Squad that normally comes up talks about some of our other guys. Of course, we're a little short on time because we're starting so late, but we're going to skip that. So maybe next week we'll get to the Paw Squad. You guys can see them as well. But anyway, this little one here, this is Oberon, and he is a Sheltie. Come here, don't be camera shy. Yeah, he's like not digging the camera, huh? Anyway, that's Oberon. He's a little Sheltie. Shetland sheepdog. We're going to talk about him. Let me give you a little bit about what I'm going to be talking about this evening, and then we'll tell you a little bit about us too as we get into this. But anyway, so the Shetland sheepdog, we've got a mini golden doodle, and then the next pen we've got a couple little bouncy cavachons and a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. The third pen, we've got 3 pens today. So the third pen is going to be a havanese. It's going to be a Yorkie poo, a blue merle Yorkie poo, and a teeny tiny teacup Yorkie. We're going to talk about her, and then I'll give you a teaser for next week. I always do that at the end as well. But next week, some of the guys we'll be talking about, we have coming in, we have a Yorkshire Terrier. This one is a chocolate and tan, so little boy. We do have a poodle, a little female poodle. She's red. We have a pug, a normal fawn colored pug. Lhasa Apso female, that is a brown and white. And then we have a Shih Tzu, that's Shih Tzu and Poodle. And that is a real pretty chocolate and white. He's a sharp looking little boy. And then we have a mini Aussie that we'll be talking about next week as well. That is the 6th for next week. We'll see who else we can add. Maybe we'll have some more to talk about. But anyway, we're going to head up to the first play area. We're going to talk about Oberon and his little buddy, that mini golden doodle. Hi, bud. How are you? Whoops. Don't want to do the door all the way open. There we go. Hi. All right, so what we have in here, listen, don't eat the Sheltie. Okay, so this one here, that's our mini golden doodle. And that is Sapphire. That is a little girl. And then this little guy who's not so sure about what's going on, that is Oberon, and he's a Shetland sheepdog. So, hi baby. How are you? Oh, now you're gonna be all sweet. All right, so this is our mini golden doodle. This is a little female. She is red in color, and this is a 2nd gen golden doodle. So she is going to be better when it comes to shedding. She's going to be better when it comes to allergies, although not the greatest. Golden doodles, it always kills me. I mention this all the time, and I actually see other people mention this too. Other people talking about dogs and people selling dogs. It boggles my mind how many breeders out there tell you guys that these doodles are hypoallergenic. Okay, they're beautiful dogs, but they're not hypoallergenic. They have a golden retriever in their background. They cannot be. I'm sorry to step on some breeders' toes here, but guys, you're not telling the truth. Any of these doodles, Cavapoos, golden doodles, Bernedoodles, Aussie doodles, a lot of the doodles, not hypoallergenic. Okay, mixing with a poodle is going to help and stuff, and it'll be great. But you buyers, you people looking to add to your home, if you know you have dog-specific allergies, you need to shy away from the doodles because these guys are just not, they're really not hypoallergenic. So, and they just don't work real well for that. So, we will just talk about this one right here for just a second. So, golden doodle, she's going to be a little bit bigger. She's going to be probably in about the 20-25 pound range when she matures. She does have a nice coat on her. It's a nice curly coat. So the fact that her shedding is going to be limited, I really don't think she's going to shed a whole bunch, but I would rather tell you she might shed some and then her not shed, and you'd be real pleased about that, rather than me tell you that she's not going to shed and you end up finding some stray hairs. That's my face. Finding some stray hairs where she, you're not real pleased about it. So anyway, we would rather tell you the truth about these guys. We're here to sell you the right dog, to find the right dog, the right home. not to just put any dog in a home with some, you know, fake premise of what they're going to be. And that's just kind of how we roll. But anyway, you know, again, sorry breeders, not trying to bash on you, but you know, it would be helpful if you tell the truth about some of your dogs. But anyway, so with your golden doodle, you're going to get, well, she's being actually really good right now, because she's pretty bouncy. And that's what you get with doodles a lot of times. Pretty bouncy, pretty active. You know, great family dogs if you've got children and you want, you know, engagement with the children going out. I mean, she's got a nice longer leg, so let's stand her up for a second. So she's got a nice longer leg here. So as far as her being able to go out, run in the yard, and things like that, as far as her being able to, you know, walk around, do walks, do parks, things like that, she's gonna do great, because she's got the body to do it, she's got the stamina and stuff like that. So nice little puppy. We had a blue Merle one here, but he actually got his home already. And, you know, so maybe we'll find another one. But right now we've got this little red one, and she's going to try to find her a home. So to comb these guys out, because of that, this is kind of a hair fur combination. You are going to need to use a hard comb to do these, comb these guys on a regular basis. It is very important with maintenance for you at home. And there are some things you can do at home too. So I gotta kneel back up to do this. So potty patches, scissors, get grooming scissors, get good grooming scissors. This is just a little 4-inch blade. Me personally, my hands are a little fatter than that. I don't like these. I like a longer blade just because I can manipulate them better. But the 4-inch works just fine. You know, if you've got a smaller hand, a lot of the girls here prefer to use the 4-inch, and that's perfectly fine. But anyway, potty patches and eyes and stuff. Potty patches are going to be the back end. Okay, this is already done, but keep this nice and clean. Okay, on a little girl, which is what this is, we're going to want to do down the legs a little bit because she will tinkle down here. So trim this up a little bit. Again, this is already trimmed pretty nice and short. If you had a little boy, the little boys, we always do their belly. Because they will tinkle on this. So we would always trim this up here a little bit away from his penis and stuff. So, but in this case, obviously that's not necessary because we don't have that. But anyway, so nice little puppy, a lot of engagement, very social, fits very well into most homes with activity and stuff like that. She will do really good. If your home is super quiet, she would probably not honestly be the best. She's not much of a couch potato. She does have a lot of good you know, downtime, you know, where she's just going to chill and kind of lay on the floor, curl up in her bed and whatever. But for the most part, your doodles, and this is a golden doodle, and this one this one's name is Sapphire, by the way. So little Miss Sapphire here. She is going to make a really nice addition to your family. You know, like I said, as long as you don't mind a little bit of stray hairs, she'll probably drop some, but it's really not going to be that bad, especially looking at the coat that she has and the way it's curled and kinked up here. That's reflecting a lot on the poodle side. So that's a little bit about Sapphire. We'll get our little nervous little Sheltie up here because he's just listen, I already did you. Here, we're gonna hand you off. Come here, Mia, please.
I got you.
We're gonna hand this little one off. Here we go. Thank you very much. All right, so we can talk about our little Sheltie because our little golden doodle is stealing the show. So this is our little Sheltie. Sheltie, of course, is short for Shetland Sheepdog. Now this is a mini collie, basically is what you're looking at. This is in the collie family, just like your Lassie dog. Come here. Just like your Lassie dog, looks just like it. Smaller version though. Your full-size collie is typically a 50, 60-pound dog, where your Shetland Sheepdog is going to be more in the 20 range. So much smaller, but same identical look to them. Same kind of personality. They are a little spunky. He's being kind of quiet on me right now, being a little nervous. He just got here, so he's not being real engaging. But normally, you're going to get a Sheltie is it's a herding dog. Okay, So you're going to get a dog with, again, enjoy the outsides, definitely enjoy the outsides. These are double coated dogs, okay? This is only single coat right now at the moment, because this is all this puppy fuzz. But as an adult, he will get a heavy guard coat, which is starting to come in. That's what some of this is. That heavy guard coat will start to come in and basically create a blanket or a raincoat effect on his body, where this warm fuzz, which is what he will maintain, that stays tight to his skin. So these guys are used to being outside in the elements and used to being, the temperatures are not going to bother him at all. He will love being outside, any temperature and stuff like that, outside playing. Normally these are going to be a really active, kind of bouncy little kind of puppy. Like I said, right now he's being very quiet. He's being a little nervous. He just got here today. So, and sometimes dogs, when they first get into a new environment, just like when you take them home, a lot of times they're pretty chill for the first 2 or 3 days till they kind of readjust and reacclimate. And that's a really good point for any of you bringing a new dog into your home, is to remember that these guys go through a very big adjustment period, and that adjustment period is getting used to not being here, not being around siblings, around other dogs and things like that. Where this dog is the only dog in the house, and he's just relying on you and stuff. So it's very normal for them to be on the quieter side when you first bring them home. But then, as time goes on and they relax, they start, running around and being their little selves and stuff like that. Now, nice little dog, very trainable. These guys are very intelligent dogs. You can teach these guys tricks. You can teach these guys a number of different methods. Whistles, clicks, doorbells, to go out, things like that. These guys are all capable, or the sheltie is very capable of learning all these different types of training methods. Very intelligent little dog, very loyal dog too. These guys are very loyal to their family. Keep in mind they're used for herding, so they're very loyal to their group of sheep or whatever it is they're herding and watching over. So they transition it very well back to your family. So that's a little bit about him. Let me give you a little bit about us. So we are Your New Puppy, and this is Friday Night Live. We do this every Friday night. We get our guys out and talk about them and showcase them and let you see them up front. And they will be listed on our website. They're not there right now. Their pictures aren't, at least. They do have a post, but it's kind of just generic. So their pictures and their videos, all that stuff is going to post tomorrow. After we get them, it'll be up sometime tomorrow afternoon, later in the day. And then you'll get to see all the beautiful little pictures that we take of these guys. But they do have a post up there now. If you're interested in this little guy, he is available, and he's here, so he's ready. But like I said, just the pictures aren't up yet, but they will be. So we are located in Cincinnati, and we are actually open 7 days a week. And you are welcome to come in. We have standard hours. You don't need an appointment, too. A lot of people always ask that. Do I need an appointment to come in? No, you don't. We did appointments, but way back in the day during COVID when we had to and things were chaotic. But now we're just, normal hours. You come when you want and it works for you. But come in, you can get these guys out in the play areas and interact with them. Ask us questions, please. Have your list of questions about the breed, about training, crate training. I was talking to somebody about crate training, and they had asked, is crate training better than, not using a crate? And the answer to that is absolutely, it is better. It's way better. I will talk about crate training in the next playpen, and we'll go into that in just a little bit. But anyway, come to us with your questions. We're here to answer them, and we're here to talk about these little guys. So, if you want to know a little bit more, just give us a call, and we're happy to talk or stop on in. So we're going to head over to our next play area. We're going to let this little guy go back, and we've got a couple more to go through.
All right, and while Mark's making his way over here to the next playpen, again, in the first play area, we had a mini golden doodle. That was the bigger red-brown one. And then we also had a sheltie, or a Shetland sheepdog. That was the little bit quieter one there. Now, Mark will talk about these guys in just a second here. While he's doing that, Again, he alluded to that we're located in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. If you guys want to find out more information, call us during normal business hours. Where do you find that phone number? Check out our website. Website's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you go on there, we do have pictures up of all the other pups that we have available, as well as a list of what we got coming in also. But Mark will go ahead and talk about these guys. I'll pass it over to you, Mark.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were done or not.
I wasn't sure if I was done either.
Gotcha. All right, so this all Cavalier stuff in here. So we have a pure Cavalier, Kaboom. That is our little princess. That is a pure female Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. That is Evelyn. And then the other two are cavachons. So we have Kira and Kiki. Kiki is going to be the white one, or Blenheim. Kira is the red one. And those are cavachons. Those are actually sisters. So let's get down and talk about them. So very, very similar here. So we can pretty much wrap everybody up all in one blanket. Come here. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Come here. I want you. All right. So these are our cavachons right here. And again, Kiki and Kira, and I'm going to get them mixed up because I should have not named them so close together. So Kira is the red one. Kiki is the one hiding behind me. Come here. This is Kiki. There we go. So, hi. So this is Kira, this is Kiki. So Cavachon sisters, Cavalier and Bichon is the combination, or Cavachons is what we call them. They are going to be a mild as far as shedding, as far as allergies, things like that. They're going to be a little bit better than the Cavalier chewing on my shoestrings. But we'll talk about her in just a moment. But anyway, so Cavachons, and come here, you. All right, come on over here. All right, so Cavalier and Cavachons. All right, so super sweet. All right, super sweet. If you've never had a Cavalier, if you've had a Cavalier, you know what I'm talking about. But if you've not had a Cavalier, yeah, the tails that don't stop, just happy, go lucky, just super personable from just a sweet standpoint. You know, these guys are they're just nothing but sweet, all of them. If you're looking for a little calmer type of dog, these would be your types of dogs. You know, so if you're an empty nester and you want something, you know, with a little bit of puppy play, because these guys do play. If you want something with a little bit of puppy play, but not like off the wall, like the golden doodle we were talking about earlier, you know, then this is going to be the way to go. The Cavalier breed is kind of an empty nester kind of breed, is what I call them, and they do that very well. Of course, your Cavalier was bred, you know, for England and in the palaces and things like that and stuff. So they didn't have these guys tearing around the palaces. They would carry them around everywhere they went. Of course, this color here, this is called Blenheim. This is your red and white, and Blenheim comes from the Blenheim Palace, which is where these was kind of developed. And these guys, Cavaliers come in different colors, so you can get a ruby red, so all solid red. That's your ruby red. This is Blenheim. Those are two very common colors. You do have a tri-black. All right, tri-black is going to be black, tan, and white, and then you also have a black and tan, which we don't see a lot of black and tans, but they do come in once in a while. Black and tan is pretty. It's more kind of like your Yorkie markings, where black and tan accents and things like that. But that is a black and tan. So those are the colors of your Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Your Cavachons can do a number of things with colors. They do tend to follow the pure Cavaliers as far as color patterns. Like this is still kind of a ruby red, just not as dark. Ruby red is darker like this. So this is kind of a muted red. And then this one is more like the Blenheim and stuff. So now the Cavalier is a shedding dog. Okay, so she is going to shed. Well, all these guys too, by the way. You're looking about 14-ish, 16 pounds. The Cavachons are a little heavier bodied. So they are probably going to be a little bit heavier. This little Cavalier here, she's kind of a pipsqueak for a Cavalier. She's on the smaller side. So we've got her scaled at 14, which is what her parents were. but she might come in a little bit less, only because she is a little bit on the pipsqueak side for a Cavalier. But, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, if she's only 12 or 14, you've got just a nice little puppy to tote around. And this is Evelyn, by the way, if you were wondering what their names are. So, I'll get you back over here, come here. All right, so with these guys, get you up here, all right. So, your Cavalier will shed, okay? She will drop hairs. Luckily, it's minimal, minimal from the standpoint of volume, and because she's smaller in size, you know. So she's not going to have as much hair as like your 60-pound Labrador or something. So, but anyway, now that she's already sound asleep. They like the warm lap. So these two here, these are the cavachon, so Cavalier and Bichon. So because they have Bichon in them, they're going to be a little bit better for shedding and stuff like that. They're going to be, we call them a low shed, but you might get some shedding with these guys. It should be on the lighter side. They are carrying a pretty good wisp to their coat, so it shouldn't hopefully be too bad. It should be minimal, but you should be okay. Now, if you're looking for a super engaging, let's go out in the yard and play, you know, all day kind of stuff, these guys are not going to do that. That's just not what they are. If they play, it's going to be a little bit. Exercise in the house is going to be fine. They're going to get all the exercise needs they need in the house for the most part, but they will enjoy going outside. They're spaniels, you know, all spaniels love to be outside. They're just not going to want to spend all day out there. So just keep that in mind, you know, even now, you know, well, although today is pretty mild for Ohio and being the end of December, we're like at 60 degrees, so that's pretty cool. Normally we're usually freezing our backsides off at this point, but that's coming next week, I believe. So welcome to Ohio, right, guys? Anyway, training, working with these guys, grooming, we'll talk about grooming a little bit. So training and working with these guys is pretty easy. They're gentle-natured dogs, all right? So keep your training soft. Don't get real aggressive as far as harshness. Keep it on the soft side, and it doesn't take much to correct these guys. A firm no is more than enough with these guys. It doesn't take a lot. They're softer natured, so you need to tone it back a little bit on your training, and get back over here. And working with them, you know, just keep it, like I said, keep it, what are you doing there, Grateful? Keep it on the softer side, and you'll be fine. A firm no is, these guys don't like to be scolded, you know, they're excellent companion dogs, which is what they're bred for, and, you know, use that. I mean, it really doesn't take much to get their attention, so use that when you're training, working with them. They are smart, they will train up pretty decently. You know, you usually don't have too much trouble with them. Now, I will point out something with these guys, because they are gentler, because they're tender nature kind of dogs. These guys tend to transition more slowly, okay? And what do I mean by that? When they leave here and go to a new environment, come here, you. When they leave here and go to a new environment, that kind of freaks them out a little bit, and they don't know exactly what to do. So they tend to, most dogs, you know, 24, 48 hours for them to adjust to a new home. These guys a lot of times will take a little bit longer. You know, they could go 72 hours, 3 days, you know, they might even go a little bit longer than that. So be prepared, you know, and one thing you don't want to do, don't force the dog, okay? When you take these guys to a new environment, don't push them into something they're not ready to do. A lot of people, you know, get them home and they're like, okay, let's start training, you know, and on day one. Well, this dog doesn't know you, okay? It doesn't know you, it doesn't know who you are, it doesn't trust you. You know, and a dog has to trust you. It has to see you as its alpha for it to abide by what you're asking it to do. You know, be it potty training, leash training, whatever it is. And if they don't recognize you as their alpha because they're just new and they're still trying to figure things out, then you need to give them time. So with a new dog, with a new puppy, you need to go at their pace. Let them set the pace, and every dog is different. Calmer dogs, quieter dogs like these guys, are going to take a little bit longer. They're going to go a little bit slower. Whereas, like the golden doodle we had in the first pen, after day one, she's going to be tearing around your house, you know, and she'll be perfectly fine to start training right away. So you have to take it at their pace. So that's just some advice for you new puppy parent owners out there. Go at the dog's pace, whatever that pace is. Let them set it. In the meantime, at the beginning, when you're, you know, trying to work on potty training and things like that, just take it easy. You know, if they have an accident in the house, you know, you can still work with them, but don't get real excited, don't get real worked up about it. You know, just clean it up and go about your day. You know, give them time to adjust. And that's the biggest advice I can give you on any new puppy coming home. And somebody like these guys, which are calmer, they take a little bit longer. They take a little bit longer to adjust. So just keep that in mind. Now, once they've adjusted, you've got an excellent dog. You've got a sweet, very loving, very, you know, couch potato kind of little guy. These guys are totally digging the warm on my legs here. I told you I would talk a little bit about crate training and stuff like that. So crate training. I actually heard somebody else say it on social media. I don't remember what I was on, if I was on TikTok or Instagram, or I don't remember where I was. But I was someplace, and it was on social media, and somebody was talking about crates, and they asked, you know, should you use a crate when you bring a puppy home? We here definitely recommend crates, and we encourage you to use a crate. And the reason being is a crate is safe. Okay, it's a safe environment for a dog. When you take this one puppy home and you pull him from his siblings, his litter mates, things like that, you're putting him into an environment that he does not know. So here, we've got closed walls, okay? So he's bound by these walls. So to him, this is a kennel, so to speak. So with that, when you go to a house, you know, a house is wide open, all right? You've got rooms and, you know, your kitchen is open and you got down hallways and things like that. To a dog, that's scary because it's this vast openness, all right? So what is a crate? A metal crate, even though you can see through it, to a dog, that is boundaries, okay? That crate is safe. That creates a cave. It is a safe place for this guy to go and do this. You know, you're gonna go in there, they're gonna lay down because it's comfortable, okay? It's safe. And one rule with a crate, and especially if you have children, if that puppy is in that crate and he is sleeping, that is time off for you guys playing with them. If they're in there sleeping, you let a sleeping puppy sleep until they get up. Keep in mind, these guys sleep 20 hours a day. You know, that is a dog's life. When these guys get up to play, they're only gonna play for 15 to 20 minutes. They're gonna grab a couple nibbles of food, and then they're gonna be ready to go back and take a nap. So the crate is not, unfortunately, people think a crate is abusive or it's in some way offensive to a dog. It is not. And it really is, I promise you, it truly is not. It is a safe environment for the dog to feel comfortable, curl up on his little bed, you know, lay down and relax. And like I said, if you've got kiddos yourself, you know, the two-legged versions, you know, then at that point, when these guys are in there and they're sleeping, let them sleep, okay? When they get up, then you can play. So that's just a little bit of advice on bringing a new guy home. That's a little bit of advice on a crate. We do have one more play area, some nice little guys to talk about. So we're gonna get these guys off of my lap here, and we're gonna head over to the next play area, because these guys are all comfy cozy. There we go. All right.
All right, and while Mark's making his way over here to the next play area, again, the fluffier ones were our cavachons, Cavalier King Charles and a Bichon Frise. And then the not as fluffy one that was a little bit smaller, that was our pure Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Now, one of the questions that we do get, I did see on Instagram somebody was saying hi and say they're interested in a puppy. Well, we can help with that. What you guys can do, if you guys see a pup on the live or check out our website and see a pup on the website that you're interested in, you can always direct message our page after the live and we can get you guys some more info about them. Or you can call us during normal business hours. We're open 7 days a week. Tomorrow we're open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then with that too, Mark's laughing at the little munchkin here. But Our website is going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you guys go on there, we do have a lot of useful information. And then again, tomorrow, we're open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to give us a ring or just direct message our page, we can get you guys some more information. We do this not only to get these guys homes, but to also educate you, like Mark was talking about in that second playpen. You're better informed, so you can make a better decision whenever picking a puppy that's a good fit for you and your family's needs. But I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Mark so he can talk about the Munchkins.
Yep, these are my Munchkins. I love my little Munchkins. So we've got 3 different guys in here. Okay, so this one here, okay, that is Misty, and Misty is a Yorkie Poo. So this one over here, this is a pure Havanese, that is Callum. And then the Munchkin, which is my favorite of all. Come here. There we go. This is a little teacup Yorkie. All right, so this is a pure Yorkie, and this is teacup. So this is Thea, and you can see, I mean, by her running around and stuff, she might be little, but this dog has no fear. She's also older too. I will mention a lot of these guys, these little guys, like she's not digging her collar. That's what she's scratching at. A lot of these little guys are the true Munchkins, like here. I hold these guys a long time before they come down. I mean, it was her and her brother. Her brother's already here. Her and her brother, and from the breeder, I didn't even take them at 8 weeks like we normally would. I had the breeder hold them 1 extra week. That's just to get them a little bit more stable. So I didn't even pick them up till they were 9 weeks of age. Now, with that being said, I held them at the house for 2 extra weeks before I even brought her down. And the whole reason to do that is to make sure that this dog is stable. Obviously, you can see we're dealing with very tiny stuff here, okay? These little guys are fragile. They are prone to hypoglycemia, and we're trying to avoid all that, which is why we don't bring them down till they're 12 weeks old, which is what she is. She's actually already 12 weeks old. And you can see, she's not even quite 2 pounds. She's a little bit under 2 pounds, but she is very stable. She's in here with bigger guys. Her brother's actually bigger. Her brother's a normal size Yorkie. Her daddy's a teacup. Her daddy's name is Little Joe, and he is a 4-pound Yorkie, and that is the sire to this particular litter. But anyway, so let's talk about these guys just a little bit. So they're all kind of different here. I'm not sure how to kind of group them together. But anyway, so this is our Yorkie Poo. She is Blue Merle. Come here. So we'll get her up there so you can see her. So this is Blue Merle. All right. And then Callum here. This is Callum. Callum is our pure Havanese. Solid color. But if you look, very light underneath. All right. So he's going to lose some of this dark tones to him. When he gets clipped, he's going to go light. And he's going to be a real pretty kind of tannish cream. He will probably maintain some of the darkness on his ears. They typically do that. His little tail is wiggling away. They will maintain some of this, but his undercoat, and you can get that in some of these breeds. Now, like her, come here, she is not going to change color, because if you look, she's the same color all the way through. So the black is black all the way through. This, what we call blue, or if you're looking at it, you're going to say it's gray or silver or whatever, but we call it blue. But anyway, if you look at the blue is blue all the way down, okay? So her, after she gets clipped, she's going to stay just the same color that she is. And her hair will come back just like it is. Him, he's going to change color on you. And some dogs will do that. They don't all do that, but some will. So like I said, you can see the lightness underneath there. So when this little babe gets clipped, he's going to go to a real pretty lighter color. He'll probably have some feathers, some pinpoints on him. That'll be a little bit darker, but he's going to be real sharp. So, pure Havanese, pure Yorkie Poo, yeah, Yorkie Poo's a mix. So our Yorkie Poo, and then this little one, that's our pure Yorkie, right there. Okay, so, let's see. Okay, we'll do grooming because that's kind of the same. Okay, so grooming and cleaning these guys up and things like that. These guys are all about the same. These are all hair dogs, okay? Havanese is pure hair dog. Yorkie Poo, both sides, both parent breeds are hair dogs, and our little Yorkie, that's a hair dog. So hard comb for these guys, all of them. Some more so than others. Hard comb on her definitely, because we've got the curls going here. So this is going to comb through real good. The Havanese coat, which is this one, it's a longer, straighter coat. Havanese can have a wavy coat to it. It can be wavy or it can be straight. Either is acceptable. In this case, his is straight. So a hard comb to get through him. And then our little Yorkie right here. So she's going to be a hard comb as well. Now she does have a little bit of wave to her coat. Yorkies can be straight or have a little bit of a curve to their hair. In her case, she does have some. Yorkie coat typically grows on the slower side, but they're still going to all need combed out. Aren't you? You're going to need combed out. So comb these guys out probably about every 2-3 days. Don't let them go too long. It is very important that you start working now with this at a young age and get them used to, one, being restricted, being held in place so that she can't run away, which she's going to want to do here in a couple minutes. But get them used to being, the feeling of this against their skin, okay, because you got to get down to the skin to do it. So it's very important, especially pay attention to the back side of the legs here, because that's where they sit down, and that's where this will get knotted up a little bit. Behind the ears, okay, she got a collar on, but behind the ears, that's a mat point for the way their ears just flop around. Their belly also, okay, from them laying on the floor. So it's very important to comb through their belly. You're not too sure about that, huh? Very important to comb through their belly. So she was getting real wiggly there because I kind of had her kind of suspended in the middle of nowhere. So I simply put her against me, okay? So I simply put her against me, gave her something to kind of kick against, and then now she's standing still. So now if I need to comb her belly, I can do so. So work with your guys and teach them things like that, okay? You know, how to be restrained, you know, so that you can do what you need to do as puppy parents. So grooming with them, now you're all going to need to get all of these guys groomed. Go to the groomer themselves unless you happen to know how to do it. Most people don't, and quite honestly, it's a lot easier to throw somebody $50 and have them do it for you and get your dog all back with pretty little bows and all nice little puppy cuts and stuff like that. You know, the groomer's going to go through them and give them a full bath. They're going to go through your hair dogs tend to have hair in their ears. She doesn't actually have any at all, which is nice. Let's see about the havanese. Yeah, he's got some, so you can see some hair growing in there. Okay, so this hair that's in these ears, that grows too, okay? But that needs to come out, all right? That's not healthy to be in there. And I can assure you, most of you who work with your dogs don't want to pluck their ears. It's not the most pleasant thing to do. The dogs really don't enjoy it very much, and most people don't enjoy it very much. So that's something you can let your groomer do. But the thing with ears, so this hair that's down in here, if you don't get that hair out of there, what it's going to, right now it's not that heavy, but as in time, as that hair grows, what it's going to actually do is get waxy buildup in there, and that's going to actually start to cut off the air circulation to his ear canal, and it needs air circulation to avoid like an ear infection, a yeast infection, things like that, which is pretty common. So if you keep that hair out, so there are health benefits to the dogs to have that hair removed. Like I say, if you don't want to do it at home, I don't blame you. That's perfectly fine. Just say something to your groomer or your vet. Your vet can pluck your ears too, if you don't want to do it. Yorkie, sometimes, now her ears are straight up, so, and she does have some hair in her ears. She's got a little bit there, so like that in time is going to need to be plucked out. You can use some drying powder. I don't particularly like to use drying powder myself. I just use hemostats to do it. But you can put a little bit of drying powder in there, and it will kind of help to grab a hold of that hair. And you want to make sure when you're doing that too, like she's got hair all around the ears. Okay, so we're not plucking this here. We're only plucking the hair that is down in the canal. Okay, and that's only this. This is kind of a bad example because she's so little. But there's only hair right here in the canal. So this hair right here, that is all we're going to actually pluck. All this extra hair around here, you don't want to be pulling on that, because that is part of, that's like attached to your skin. So you really don't want to be pulling on this. You only want to be pulling on that. So if you want to do it, that's fine. That's a little bit of how to do it. Now, so you didn't like that? All right, so working with these guys, we've got a Yorkie poo, training. These guys are going to be Yorkies or Yorkshire Terriers, okay? So they are terrier mindset. They are very headstrong, all right? They are very independent in their thinking. And that's going to be both of these two. Yorkies are independent, which is why, you know, this little one is running around here keeping up with these two, which are obviously noticeably larger than her, and it's not even phasing her. And that's because of her mindset. She's little, but she's mighty, okay? And if you saw her early running around and stuff, you would have seen her, you know, tearing around playing just as aggressively as these guys are. A misconception from people is that these little guys need to be coddled, you know, and carried around and babied and stuff. And I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Please don't do that. It's actually not in their best interest. This is a puppy, this is a dog, and they have 4 feet, and those 4 feet belong on the ground. You know, if you want to pick them up and hold them, by all means. You know, I'm not telling you don't hold your dog. You know, you can pick them up, you can hold them. You know, you're going to need to, like going upstairs, okay? It's going to be a long time for this one to learn how to navigate up the steps, if she does ever, because I don't expect her to be more than about 4 pounds, for maybe 5 pounds if she gets like extra treats. So, you know, is she going to be able to go upstairs at your house? Probably not. You know, so yeah, you've got to carry them. But in the kitchen, stuff like that, get her down on the floor. That's where she belongs. Let her navigate. This is where they're comfortable. Their perspective on things is their angle from the floor. You know, our perspective is standing up looking down on them, but theirs is standing down looking up on us. And that is their life. That's how they understand things. That's how they process stuff. So, if you're looking at this little teacup here, this is something that you don't actually want to baby. And as hard as that is to not do, you want her to be a puppy. You want her to be a dog. Now these guys, come here. These guys are going to be a little bit more acclimated to kind of scooting around and stuff. She's going to be big enough. You're going to be 8 to 10 pounds here. This is our Yorkie poo. This is our little havanese. He's smaller for havanese. He's not the biggest havanese. His brother's actually already here too. He has a brother. He's all white. He's a little bit bigger in size. But this is our pure havanese. He's going to be probably 10 to 12 pounds. Our Yorkie poo is going to be probably 10-ish as well. I mean, she might go 12. She's actually kind of on the bigger side for a Yorkie. I'm trying to remember her parents. I think it was 12 and 10, I believe. But anyway, when you're working with these two and when you're working with him as far as training goes, 2 different kind of methods of training. So he's going to be more companion oriented. This one, he's going to be a little bit more companion oriented. He's going to be a little more responsive to training methods and just wanting to please, basically. Where these two will be a little bit more independent, and they're going to also be a little bit more of the I will do things kind of when I feel like doing them, which is just kind of their nature. Don't get me wrong, I love Yorkies to death. I have 2 of them myself. I have 2 that are in my house. They're my pets. And then I also breed Yorkies, although this is not one of mine. But I like their personality. I like a feisty little kind of guy. And, you know, so these guys fit really well for me. You know, and they do really good. You know, as far as I know, children, if you have little children, this little one is a no-no. We're definitely, in fact, if you come in here with your children, we're not even going to let you get her out to play. I will mention that too, by the way. She is on restricted play. She's on restricted and limitations here at the store. We do not want to run this little baby down. So she will be on timed plays. If you come out, this is going to be one of those more serious inquiries only. You know, the problem is you get a lot of high school kids in, and everybody wants to play with the little ones, but again, it's not in their best interest. And our job here is to protect these little babies, and we need to protect her especially. She would be more happy to get out and play multiple times a day. This one, it would be happy to come out for about 10 minutes and, you know, talk to some serious people about her and then go back up and rest. Little one here is going to be on limited play. Just as a warning to you guys, if you want to come in just to play, we've got other guys that you can play with instead. She won't be one that's going to come out. She's on reserve time. But other than that, when you're working with these guys, when you're playing, she will fit very nicely into a family with kids. He will actually fit very nicely into a family with kids. She is going to fit into a family with no children or older children. If your kids are in high school, they're out doing their own thing and they don't really count anyway. So, you know, they're kind of doing their high school stuff and getting with their buddies. So at that point, you know, if you want a mama purse dog, you can come get her because she would fit just fine. So that is a little bit about these guys. Again, Michael mentioned that, you know, we are located here in Cincinnati. You are welcome to come in and play with these guys. If you're interested, if you're looking to add to your family, I mean, that's what we're here for, is to find these guys homes. And, you know, in this particular pen, we've got 3 different dogs. And these 3 different dogs will fit 3 different families. These are not all going to fit the same kind of family. So, you know, that's kind of nice to have a variety in the selection. You know, so when you come in, you know, have your little list of criteria. You know, this is what I want out of a dog. I want a dog that, you know, a smaller dog, about, you know, maybe 12 pounds. I want one that doesn't shed, you know, or sheds very little. We do have dog allergies in our family, or we don't have dog allergies. You know, this kind of criteria helps us to better pick a dog for you. You know, and then temperament, personality. You know, do you want somebody super engaging? Do you want somebody on a quieter side? These are all very important questions. So, you know, have your little list and bring it in and say, this is kind of what I'm looking for. And we'll get some guys out. You know, we'll get them out, let you play and let you interact and kind of see who best fits. So that is a little bit about these guys and a little bit about us in general. So I'm going to get these guys off. I'm going to grab one of them. I think I'm going to grab Callum. That's our little havanese. And we're going to put 2 of these up, and we're going to finish up this up here real quick.
All right, and while Mark's making his way up here to go ahead and close this out and talk about next week, again, the little one was our little small Yorkshire Terrier. The one he's holding there is our pure havanese, Callum. And then the other one in there, Yorkie Poo, Yorkie and a Poodle. I do have somebody asking about Bichon Frise. We do have a female Bichon Frise currently available. On the live, we showcase our new guys that just got here today. If you guys go on the website, we do have a full list of pictures of all the guys that we do have available that we didn't showcase. Right now, these guys are just going to have a generic post up. We'll get their pictures up tomorrow afternoon. If you want to check out that website for more information, that's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you go on there, there's a lot of useful information. Or you can direct message our page after the live and get some more info as well, too. With that, and as Mark was going through the information and whatnot, we want to make sure that we're helping you guys make an informed decision about the breeds. All the puppies have pros and cons to them. Certain ones are better than others for your household, but all of them have positives and negatives, so it's just finding the one that is a best fit for you. So that's why we kind of educate you on the breeds. But I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mark so he can talk a little bit and wrap us up.
Okay, so yeah, Michael was alluding to the website. The Our Puppies page is where you want to go. Our Puppies is where you will find pictures and stuff of all the guys that we have, okay? And we talked about these guys, their pictures aren't up yet, it will be tomorrow. But the Our Puppies page is where you want to go to see everybody that is available. The showcase that we did is just the new guys that got here today. So, and we have other guys here. And then if you're looking for stuff down the line, go to the Future Litters page. Go into the menu of our website and you'll find all these different pages. There's a page on delivery and FAQs and just all kinds of stuff. But anyway, Future Litters is some of the stuff that's coming in. That typically goes out about 3 or 4 weeks from now. So you'll find some of the stuff that's coming in. If you're looking for something, give us a call and we can, you know, take a look and see, you know, if we might have something coming in beyond that. So anyway, let me give you a little bit of a teaser for next week and what we'll be talking about next week. So next week we will have a mini Aussie. And the mini Aussie is smaller, but not the smallest, not a super tiny mini Aussie, but she'll be in around the mid-20 range. But anyway, a pure pug, we have a pug and a pure Yorkie will be here next week. The pure Yorkie is chocolate, by the way. We featured a couple chocolate and tans. And this one is chocolate and tan. It's a little boy, very, very pretty little guy. We do have a Shipu coming in. Shipu's a chocolate and white. He's real pretty. And then we have a Lhasa Apso and a Poodle, both not together, a pure Lhasa and a pure Poodle, so two different dogs. So anyway, so that is a little teaser. We'll see what else we can come up with for next week to talk about. But in the meantime, I am Mark, and on behalf of all of us here at Your New Puppy, we want to wish you a fantastic week.
All right, and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate likes, comments, and follows. We'll see you next week.